If you're worried that your intrusive negative thoughts are messing up your desired manifestation, relax. Nothing is messing up your manifestation, not even your negative energy. Have you ever been injured and then carted off by ambulance to the emergency room? A part of you knows your body is a bit of a mess, but you surrender and trust the paramedics and the doctors and the nurses to take care of you. On the ambulance, you know you are on your way to the hospital. You know that help is on the way. Sure, it feels better to think purely happy thoughts and align yourself with purely positive energy. That is certainly my preference. It's a smoother ride. But when you find yourself in a less than ideal mood, it is not necessary to assume and then repetitively think that negative thoughts are messing up your desired manifestations. Manifestation is done. There is no waiting. Remind yourself of that. And you can think of your negative thoughts as helping you along your way to realizing the truth of it. The quicker you notice them, your negative thoughts, the quicker you can use them as a reminder of all of the things you prefer and love. If you're kind of in a rut and finding it difficult to shake the feeling that something is wrong, that you're not getting what you want, that life is unfair or not yielding to you or scary and so on, you can add this affirmation to your repertoire. I'm in a bad mood, and I'm allowed to be in a bad mood, and I choose to be in a bad mood. Repeat it. I'm in a bad mood, and I'm allowed to be in a bad mood, and I choose to be in a bad mood. Instead of, I'm in a bad mood, and I know it's bad, but I can't help it, which is so full of self-judgment and resistance, you are telling yourself that being in a bad mood is allowed. It's okay. It's not bad. It may not be preferred. It may not be your first choice. Although it kind of is, you are choosing it. But let me just take this thought to its conclusion. It may not seem like your first choice, but it doesn't need to be bad either. It's allowed. It must be, since you're in a bad mood. Life allows for the possibility of being in a bad mood. It's allowed. Also, I can't help it is such a disempowering statement, isn't it? It's basically saying, I have no agency. I am powerless. So if you're in a bad mood, own it. You're allowed to be in a bad mood. Go, yeah, I'm in a foul mood and I'm choosing to stay in a foul mood for the time being. That is my choice. It is my choice for now. I choose to be in a bad mood. Repeat it enough times and you will eventually reach a point where it's absurd. Funny even. Funny that you would choose to be in a bad mood. What are the things you are blaming for your bad mood? Ask yourself with genuine curiosity. Did someone piss you off? Were they disrespectful to you? Or is it something else? Are you feeling low because you can't shake the belief that things aren't going your way? Are you remembering something that happened to you years ago that you wish had never happened? Something that you wish had gone differently? What? There's two ways to go about it, broadly speaking. One is to flip the negative thought. Imagine its opposite, basically, and to reconnect with the energy of positivity and limitless abundance that way. And the other is to run with the negativity to the point of absurdity, at which point you will rediscover your sense of humor, so that reconnecting with your true self is inevitable. Let's start with the first option. Whatever it is that you have identified as the cause of your grief, imagine that you could magically render it gone. Visualize yourself holding a magic wand, if you like. Waving that wand and describing what you prefer to have happened will, quote unquote, make things right. Whatever the words make it right mean to you in physical terms. Let's say you are frustrated because your desire is to manifest a dream vacation to Switzerland, and you attract the opportunity to enter a lucky draw for which the first prize happens to be an all expenses paid trip to Zurich, and it feels so right. So far, so good. You go, this must be my path of least resistance. I attracted it. It is totally aligned with my desire, and the timing of it, of the opportunity coming my way, is just too perfect to be mere coincidence. You are so excited. You know it is yours. It has to be. And then you don't win. You manage to be a runner-up and you do win a small cash prize, but it isn't what you were expecting, what you hoped for. You feel let down. It is significantly less than what you wanted, significantly inferior in your estimation. Even the consolation of being runner-up is not much of a consolation. You wonder what went wrong. You assume something has gone wrong. Your need for consolation is your cue. Enter the magic. Wave your magic wand and say the words. Describe your preferred outcome. Use whatever words you like. Maybe you go, I won that lucky draw and I got to enjoy that all expenses paid trip to Zurich. As promised, for an entire 2 weeks. My flight had plenty of legroom and the in-flight meals were surprisingly good. And the hotel I checked into was so cozy and comfortable as well as conveniently located. I got to enjoy the ambience and romanticism of the city. I got to meet some really interesting and good-looking people. And I got to see the beautiful lakes and mountains, which were the highlight of the entire trip. The point isn't to deny the fact that you didn't actually win, but to fulfill yourself with the feeling of happiness anyway, to remember how happy you felt as you looked forward to it, as you anticipated it, until you decided that only coming runner-up meant you no longer had any business feeling that happy. You gave that meaning to the outcome. The point is to keep you appreciative and feeling gratitude about the fact that such an amazing opportunity ever even came your way to begin with. You feel thankful to the organizers and happy for the winner. Not to mention, you did win. You won that cash prize. You are allowed to celebrate that. And instead of thinking in terms of regretting having blown or wasted the opportunity, you stay open to future opportunities, not necessarily for a trip to Zurich, but for anything good. Just because your expectation didn't manifest into the fully fledged reality of that trip to Zurich doesn't mean that something equally exciting and satisfying isn't about to pop into your 3D. Okay, but what if you slide back into the pit of self-pity and the inescapable question that rings in your head like a broken record of, why couldn't it have been me that got to go on that trip? Time to run with that negativity and double down. Let it be absurd. My favorite way of doing this is to complain from the perspective of having what you wanted, because that is what you are doing anytime you feel sorry for yourself. You are blind to your blessings. So in this example, that means complaining from the perspective of having won that lucky draw. Take that mood of self-pity and do some improv. The key is to complain from the perspective of having realized your desired manifestation, because that's what makes it absurd. Oh God, I won. Now I have to go to Zurich. What a bother. Why did I have to win? How come I always win? I didn't even try. Why do I always win these lucky draws? Why is it so easy? Why am I always so lucky? And why, oh why, are these Swiss men so handsome and polite and flirty? So annoying. If you find yourself unable to keep a straight face as you do this, good. That's the whole point, to tap into your own good humor and maybe even laugh at yourself a little for being the silly little human being that you are. You don't have to lose your sense of fun just because your 3D isn't showing you your fully realized desire. It doesn't matter. Keep your sense of humor anyway. Be lighthearted. Surrender your feelings of disappointment and self-pity. They are unnecessary burdens. It's not that you should or ought to be happy and that being unhappy is quote unquote bad, but that you are free to be happy and free to be other than happy. Before you know it, you will be preoccupied with your next adventure, the next thing you are excited about, and that lost trip to Zurich will be nothing more than a forgotten memory. Somewhere down the line, something reminds you. Remember that time you thought you were going to win a trip to Zurich and didn't? And you find you have completely forgotten about it, or you do remember, it just has no bearing on your current emotional landscape. It's irrelevant. You don't feel sad about it. You don't feel any emotion about it because you know it was never really the trip that you wanted, although you did really, really want that trip, because you know that it was your desire that gave meaning to the idea of winning that trip to begin with. And that was then. It's old news. You are present. You are up to date. You are alive to what is relevant to your sense of fun and excitement now, your potential for fun and excitement now. Potential indicates unfulfilled desire, which is fine because unfulfilled desires are as much a reason for joyful anticipation as they are for any other emotion. It's a matter of choice. Choice in the now. You get to choose your mood. You get to invest. You are allowed to feel however you like to feel. Disappointed, bored, interested, super pleased and excited, or anything in between. You are an investor and your attention is your currency. Invest in what feels rewarding to you. Otherwise, be thrifty. In other words, don't buy what you don't want. If disappointment tastes bitter, invest in something sweeter, a better feeling mood, like amused and just content, for no other reason than because you prefer to feel amused and content. And when you're in a bad mood, just go, I'm in a bad mood and I'm allowed to be in a bad mood and I choose to be in a bad mood.